why you work and how you work has more of an effect on living out the gospel than where you work or what you do. So let me put it this way. Because the question is going to arise from somebody at some point, whether you're on here live or you're watching this recording, and you're going to ask the question, but what if I'm in ministry? Okay. What we just said of why you work and how you work is more of an effect on you living out the gospel than where you work or what you do. All believers are in ministry. You just happen to work at a church or work at a nonprofit. Ministry does not make you exempt from not being a workaholic. We still have to play by the same rules. So go back to the beginning and remember how we talked about extremes are easier for us to achieve. So an extreme reaction to realizing I'm a workaholic is going to be, I need to quit. I don't want you to feel like you necessarily have to do that. If God calls you to quit, then listen, but don't necessarily make an overreaction and go to the opposite side. Because remember what the other extreme is going to be if we don't struggle with workaholic, unless we make God the extreme and let him order everything else, it could go from overwork to laziness. And so we don't want that. This is a process and a daily commitment, and it cannot be fixed overnight. It is a decision that I'm going to make today, and then it's a decision that I'm going to make tomorrow. It's a decision I'm going to make the next day. And I'm going to pray, and I'm going to do the work to make God first, understanding that anything else is just going to be me trying to reorder. So Romans 12:2, going back to that passage that we've mentioned so many times, Romans 12:2 says, and do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you may prove what the will of God is, that which is good and acceptable and perfect. A renewed mind is one that is re-educated and redirected. It's a mind that says, I know I can't, I know you can. But if you look at this verse and it says, be transformed by the renewing of your mind, it doesn't say, hey, you renew your mind. You are transformed by the renewing of your mind, and the Holy Spirit renews your mind. You don't. And so there's no shortcut to this. If you want a renewed mind, if you want a renewed heart, if you want to live this differently, this is something that God has to do in you. You cannot do it yourself. You cannot do it yourself. And so please don't try. Please don't try all of these other things without giving it the foundation, because otherwise I just think you're going to end up more frustrated, and you're going to end up with those rules and guilt rather than the freedom that comes from understanding in the belief. Because you can work. Overwork is unbelief, but you can work from a place of belief that says, God, I don't know how you're going to do this, but I know that you've put me here. And so I'm here. Use me. That's belief. That is belief.